Hi everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, professional productivity platform.
I'm Marcus Petru, development manager over at SwiftCase.
And I'm Phil with the developer at SwiftCase.
Okay, as Alkis was just very keen to get started then, today's topic is about being keen and potentially misdirected keenness. And it's a phenomenon that I've witnessed in developers over the years, including myself sometimes, but I've never actually had the phrase that I came across a couple of weeks ago, which is called gold plating. So it's the idea that you keep adding to a project, so it's never finished. You just keep going because you think, oh, there's something better I can add, or I can improve this, and ultimately the actual requirements that the client or the feature or whatever you're doing was sort of specified, the specification for it aren't actually completed. You spend so much time making another bit great. So just
kind
really
of
wanted
to tangent, isn't it?
Yeah. So I suppose I wanted to have a little talk about that today, and like whether maybe it applies to other aspects of life or business, and whether what are some ways to sort of watch out for it, and how to combat it, I suppose.
Well, there's probably, in terms of like a creative exercise, I think gold plating, it's a double-edged sword in a way. I think it's part of what makes creativity fun, right? So I remember as a kid doing drawings at school. I loved drawing and sketching, and I always had a period whereby I'd go, oh, this is a really good bit, this is a really good piece. It's got everything I like about pictures in it, it's got good composition, it's the lines, this is really accurate and things like that. But then what happened is I'd keep wanting to ride the wave of enjoying it being good and work on it, and I would always work on it until I hated it, until I'd overindulged, and then it became, because you basically want to ride that, what you call flow, right, where you feel like this release of like, wow, and you get endorphin and stuff where everything just seems to be just flowing from your pen or from your fingers on the keyboard, right? And so you want to maintain that, so you find reasons to maintain it, but in the end it transforms into something else, right? And like you say, it transforms into something that's beyond the specification. So you need to know when to stop and say, this is good enough, and if I do it anymore, I'm going to ruin it or make it too complex. So that's where but it's fine to do it in your own creative processes, whereby you're just doing art or whatever for its own sake. I mean, there's a danger. It doesn't matter if it gets ruined in your eyes, it's still probably good. You've just got so pernickety about it.
When it comes to, when you have a direct specification, then it can kind of be your enemy. Whereas, like you said, if it's a creative concept or something, and you don't really have a specific goal, then it can really be beneficial.
So if you just said, I want to make an app that does this sort of vague thing, you're much more likely to gold plate and go, ooh, aren't you?
If you've not got a plan from the beginning as well, that helps. But I think it depends, because there is a trade-off, isn't there? Because as you say, some of this might actually be coming up with really good new features that might be, might make the system better, or whatever you're working on, might make your piece of work better, but you haven't got the time to do it. So from a business point of view, there's always you need to deliver something, and there's an expectation of that happens in a certain time period. And there's a perfect solution and there's a good enough solution. And like you need to make sure it's okay to have done the good enough solution and throw in a couple of bonuses. But if you haven't even done the good enough solution,
that's
when the problems come, don't they? But also, I suppose aside from that as well, you can get into the situation where the gold plating aspect of the project, the client notices and then wants to go, oh, actually could have do more, and the client there's like a scope creep gold plating feedback loop where the client goes, oh, I like that, can we do more of that?
You obviously like doing these bells and whistles, so let me give you an easy
the bit that you did extra doesn't work quite right, but they never asked for it in the first place. So you start providing support. You start providing support for something that was never promised that it'd be delivered in the first place. So you building yourself further issues.
So a good way to avoid it is just would be deadline and specifications, wouldn't it?
Stick to the specification.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's also important for the specification to be clearly laid out in that case, because I think I mean, I see a lot in the software industry where if there's not a clear specification, it's really easy for like the developer to get carried away. And I mean, I fully understand because you don't have a clear laid out plan, like you said. So.
I think as well, it's also important that the developer has an idea of what the end goal is meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if the end goal is there, as well as the sort of steps that need to be produced, if they actually are on the same page about what needs to be developed in the first place, then I think we've got something there.
Yeah, the reason why I think it also tends to go awry if there's more people in the chain with ideas about what something should be. So, and I think it's part of the problem that happens. Gold plating probably happens extensively in larger companies when more people are involved in the decision-making process.
Yeah.
So the less people there are in the chain between an idea, probably the less gold plating, the more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why you can't really. I mean, I'm sure there are successful TV programs or the creative enterprises where they've got large teams, but generally there's got to be a saturation point beyond when.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, there's always head writers who decide.
There's meant to be. Actually, there was a theory I was reading about it. It was how the pirate party actually from a totally different point of view. Apparently, there's all magic numbers for teams, and once you get to a certain size, you have to split them, and then have a hierarchy of teams. So I don't know, it's 7 or 9. They're the two numbers that are sticking in my head. That once you get more than 7 people or 9 people, then actually you can't. The communication between them is too overwhelming. So then, if you have a team that's bigger than that, it just gets a mess because you can form factions and
so
people from different. You then need to have 2 teams of like 7. So that both speak to one person, and that person makes the decision based on 2. Opposing opinion, or not necessarily opposing, but 2 outcomes of those smaller groups, and then you build up the organisation in those groups of numbers, and when you get to the management level, there should only be 7 over the 7 the groups.
Vice presidents, basically.
So if you've got 7 units, then you'd have 7 heads of each of those units. But then you couldn't have an 8th unit. You'd then have to have 2 regions or however you broke it that way.
So it splits underneath.
So that you never have a larger one person's never responsible for more than say 7 people, things. So that's 7 units, 7 regions, really 7 people.
That makes sense.
And that's how it works. And that way you don't get this issue where the communication breaks down, and then but this is something
I think
a further topic than gold plating.
I think it still happens because
it happens in the individual, doesn't it? It doesn't necessarily happen in the thing, but design by committee is another issue that I suppose we can visit in a different podcast.
But what other parts of life do you find gold plating other than art and work? What else?
I think anything that's like self-improvement, people go to the gym and they can get healthy, but then other people get obsessed and they're like trying to and then they get like muscle bound or something, there's
so something like bodybuilding is effectively gold plating of health kick.
I mean,
what do you think about
that?
Some
extent. If your goal is to be a bodybuilder, then it isn't. But like you said, if your goal is to be healthy, then all of a sudden you're
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's arguable. It's not healthy in a way, right?
If you're eating like 15,000 calories a day, when your goal was just to like lose some weight because you suddenly got into like you could. I suppose that's like when something goes off to the extreme, isn't it? People do take extreme. And people get obsessed with other things. They don't need plastic surgery. Appearance.
That's the definition of gold plating.
Isn't it? So they keep.
It's like, I'm not happy with this one thing.
And then next minute their nose is falling off.
And they hate themselves.
And they don't. They're still never happy. But that's trying to. I suppose that's a different area, isn't it? Where it could be gold plating. It could be. There's an anxiety of when you finish. Is it good enough? So if you never finish,
I think it is.
It never has to be good enough, does it?
Because your goal is to look good, and then all of a sudden you're sidetracked by various surgeries.
You lose sight of
exactly
looking good and see only the high that you got from having the surgery. So you go, the surprise of unwrapping the present in a way, which is your fate. You know what I mean? Like we talked about Christmas. It's like from kids mostly, it's the experience about the present, and then they've forgotten that they even
they go next.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really interesting. I've not thought about it that way. Yeah.
Okay, so if you've got any thoughts about gold plating and whether your business has experienced this or you've experienced this in a project, then please drop a comment below.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button to get notifications.
Yeah, and if you want to see some gold-plated workflow management software, then go to swiftcase.co.uk. And if you want to check out our social media on all platforms, it is at SwiftCase UK.
Okay, great. Thanks for listening to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast, and we'll see you again next time.